So when I first built the cabin, the emerald ash borer was killing all of the ash trees. So I bought a ton of ash, and I actually made the rafters out of this beetle-killed ash. Well, I have a bunch of it left over, and this is it right here. Believe it or not, this stuff mills up into some of the most beautiful wood you would ever see. The last couple videos, I've been trimming out this bathroom using wood from leftover projects. My stash is greatly diminished. The last thing I have to do is make a door for the utility room. So today we're going to use up some of this leftover ash. I'm making the rails for the door. It's super important that these are exactly the same size, so I've set up a stop block so I can make repeatable cuts. I've decided to make this a 4-panel door, so that means I need 5 rails. I'm using the mortising bit to dial in the dual marking gauge. This is just one of those tools that's way more handy than I ever thought it would be. So I mark out one side, and then I'm turning it around just to make sure that everything's centered on the tenon. And I'm just drawing this out in pencil so you guys can see it a little bit better. This is not something I do when I'm not filming myself. So I do woodworking for fun, not profit, and one of the things I don't really enjoy is hand cutting tenons. So I'm roughing these out on the table saw. You're going to get to see my super fancy tenoning jig. This thing is simple and it works great. You by no means need a sliding table saw to do this. If you don't have a sliding saw, you would just make a jig that goes over the fence and adjust the fence accordingly. But one part of woodworking I really do enjoy is chiseling. This is just a personal preference, but I really like to chisel to a marking line. I think I can get a more accurate fit than if I were to make my final cuts on the table saw. And it's just really fun. There's something satisfying about paring back to that marking line, and I just like doing it. Alright, so now we're going to start working on the stiles. The big thing here is making our mortises. So what I'm doing is transferring from the rails, transferring the tenons onto the stiles and marking that out thoroughly, and then using the mortising jig to make my square holes. You absolutely don't need a mortising jig to do this. It's just a time saver. Again, one of those things, where do you put your money? Where do you put your effort? I like to do the things by hand that I enjoy, and the things that to me aren't so fun, well, if I've got the money, I'll buy a tool for it. Alright, so because I like to do woodworking for fun, and I like to try and learn something new on every project, I thought it would be fun to make this a louver door. It would also afford me the ability to use up a bunch of scrap, which, I'm not going to lie, that makes me pretty happy. So we have a woodworking problem, and whenever there's a woodworking problem, the solution is usually a jig. In this case, I need to get a bunch of little diagonal holes to accept my louvers in the right spot and at the right depth without having it look horrible. So we're gonna make a jig. So something happened as I was using the router that I wasn't able to really show, but my stop kind of dropped a little bit on some of these, which makes the assembly a lot more complicated. If you make all of your holes to the same depth, it's a lot easier to cut your rails to the right size and then slide them in and have them not be too big or too small. So pay close attention to that as you're doing this. The slots for the louvers have to be a mirror image of each other, so I actually have to take this off and relocate it to the other side of the jig. This is something that you need to be careful of, that you don't screw up. When I was actually making the loft ladder, I kind of messed this up. Thankfully it was in a way that I could fix it, but make sure that you mark this out and be sure that it's going to be the right way before you start routing. Alright, and these clips do not do justice to the amount of time I spent resawing, jointing, planing, shaping, and routing all of this scrap wood for the louvers. This was by far the most time consuming and not very fun part of this project, but thankfully with the help of the shaper we were able to get it done somewhat reasonable amount of time. Alright, I think it's time to do a dry fit and make sure all this stuff fits nicely, and that's looking pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and start finishing what we need to finish before we assemble it, and hopefully we'll make our glue up go smoothly. I'm pretty sure each panel had 17 louvers, so sanding, cleaning, finishing these was not fun. Alright, I think I'm ready to go here. I've got everything laid out exactly how it goes. I haven't sanded the faces, so I've still got my labels on here. I've got my clamps laid out. I just spent 45 minutes cleaning my shop looking for these. That would have been a disaster if I started gluing it up and couldn't find them. What else? Oh, check your glue. I haven't used this glue in a while. Had some clumps on the top. You don't want to squeeze a little bit of glue out and then find out it won't come out. So I think I've controlled everything I control, and it's time to do this. Alright, I've finished everything that I'm not going to be able to finish once it's all glued up, and it's time to do this glue up. I'm not going to lie, this is tricky, but I feel prepared having dry fit it several times. I'm going to say there's probably 3 things that are going to make this go smoothly for you. First is cut all your slots for your louvers to the same depth. I'm going to say 1/4 inch plus like a little bit, like a 32nd, whatever that fraction is. Second, make sure that you dry fit it and then cut your louvers to a length of plus 1/4 inch. Basically what's showing plus 1/4 inch. And then third, when you go to glue it up, put 2/4 inch spacers in between your mortises and tenons, clamp everything together so that it stays a uniform size, And the louvers should be a length that they basically slide in with maybe a tiny bit of bending, and then you can pull them out so that they stay positioned. Yeah, so this actually went pretty smoothly until it didn't. When I went to clamp together the middle rail, some of the louvers had moved and they were just basically preventing it from clamping together. I spent an uncomfortable amount of time trying to fix this, and I did finally get it to work, but I had visions of this screw up being screwed up, so thankfully it all came out okay. Yep, that just happened. So when I make these mortises, I leave a little bit of extra material on the ends, and now I'm just going back and cutting them off. I just leave that for strength to make sure it doesn't split. Alright, we got 3 more jigs coming up here. This is my nifty little door holding jig so that it doesn't fall over. I don't know what you call that. Ryobi jig that I just bought. And then another jig I just made, which I found out this time that I made a door, it's so much easier to route these in if you do it before you assemble the frame, so that was definitely a lesson learned from this project. And yep, just making the frame. This always feels kind of anticlimactic. All the fun stuff's done. We just need to do this final formality before we can call it a finished door. Anyway, I'm just particularly happy with how this came out. I just really like the way it came together. If you want to see some beauty shots of this and how it looks installed, be sure to come back and check out the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.